So the mainstream news continues to highlight collectibles. There is a new headline of the day around Pokemon. We're going to go over some explanations for what the behind the scenes sort of looks like in that front. We're going to look at a new release from Upper Deck and also in the same breath realize, hey, maybe these guys have everything directly through retailers. They don't actually sell anything through their site. Welcome to another edition of XFeed. My name is Schiller. Let's get straight into it. We talk everything around collectibles and cards. So the Jake Paul fight on the weekend, what an experience that was. The fact that it was like on Netflix, because I have Netflix, I was like, great. But I'm watching it and I'm like, holy crap, there is a Pokemon card that's graded that somebody is wearing as jewelry. Now, this is Mr. Golden from Golden Auctions, if you've seen the collectibles. If you happen to have Netflix, it actually is an entire series if you're wanting to catch up on it, but this was kind of a quick thing that I recorded the night of. There's only about 41 of these known, but this is one of the Pikachu Illustrator cards. It's one of the rarest. It made an appearance on the Jake Paul fight. What do we think? I feel like Logan Paul did this not that long ago. Well, at least at his last major. When the hell was that? But anyway, the trend of people wearing Pokemon cards on their neck as jewelry. Thoughts? So didn't get a whole lot of comments on that. One person was like, oh, that's kind of dumb, whatever. And that's cool, but the fact that we're seeing that happening on the timeline is sort of funny. And then, of course, there is a media tour immediately following all of this, of course. So we'll get to Golden's in a second, but I want to say this was like an hour ago or something. I opened the timeline right before we hopped on here, but they just had Logan Paul on, and looks like they were talking about another Pokemon graded card.
This is the rarest and most valuable Pokemon card in the world. Pokemon as an asset class has outperformed the stock market by upwards of 3,000% in the last 20 years. It is a generational game and franchise that is the #1 highest grossing and most popular franchise in the world. This card is the best out of all of them. It is the 1/1 PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator.
Now, how much is the stuff around it worth?
Yeah,
I see a lot of diamonds.
A lot of diamonds. Right. I paid $75K for this custom chain.
How did you get into investing in these collectible cards?
Someone gave me way too much money as an adult. And as a kid who grew up playing the game, I was like, oh, wow, there's a trading card game here, and I can spend my entire net worth on it. And I did that with this card.
Interesting. So if someone's new to this space, that's never been, I mean, this is an asset class that is completely foreign to most investors. Where would you start? We obviously can't start with one of those.
Yeah. I mean, man, go to your local card shop. Go on eBay. Buy a card that you think looks cool or that you have a connection with. That's what I did. I love Pokemon more than anything. I have one tattoo on my body. It's a Squirtle. I got it before I even started.
What's a Squirtle?
Squirtle's a water type. He's a starter Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How much did you pay for that card?
I'm dating myself.
It's fine.
How much did you pay for it, and how much is it worth?
Yeah, great question. I paid $5.3 million for this card.
Wow.
I set a Guinness World Record for the most expensive Pokemon card ever sold back in 2022 after I wore it out to my WrestleMania debut around my neck like this. And your question, how much is it worth? We will see. I don't know. I am finally, after years of Ken Golden convincing me to sell this thing at auction, I'm sending it to auction this February.
So the card is going to auction in February. Also, it's so funny when people ask questions, like when the guy's like, "What's Squirtle?" And like, I feel that there's so many people instantly go, "How the hell don't you know that?" But genuinely, if you're not interested in it, or if you didn't grow up on it, you're not going to be that familiar with it. And Harry Swan, good morning. Good to see you. We're continuing the trend here. If you guys are just tuning in, what's up? We're going to get into a really cool sale regarding a Kobe and LeBron card that went at an auction. And like every day, I say this every stream, but every day we can wake up and there is a new headline of some major sale of some shenanigans. You're just like, that seems fake, but it's totally real. So continuing on the trend with what we saw a moment ago, there was another segment very recently. I believe this one was yesterday with CNBC, where Ken Golden was on talking about collectibles.
I was Ken Golden, founder and CEO of Golden Auctions. Good morning to you, Ken. Congratulations on the new season of the broadcast. Tell us what's happening in the world of cards and collectibles. What's happened to the prices since we last saw you?
Sure. I mean, look, since you last saw me, it's become firmly established that trading cards, sports collectibles, and more broadly collectibles have become an accepted alternative asset. The numbers that people are getting for whether it's a trading card that sells for $12.3 million, whether it's ruby red slippers that sell for $32 million, whether it's a Shohei Ohtani baseball that sells for $4.4 million, just been going up astronomically.
So pausing on this for a second, what's really interesting is this number is sort of in debate. Because if you type it on Google and you say, what's the collectibles market cap right now, it will spit out 500 billion to you, okay? But Morgan Stanley has said that it's 100 billion. So what is the classification that they're having within the collectibles? And that's something we'll probably try to dive into later because, you know, we're being a headline merchant right now. But that seems like an extraordinarily large discrepancy between some of these bigger entities of whoever the hell makes these estimates.
And, you know, really there's a lot of, besides old-time collectors, people who've collected their whole lives, there are a lot of, you know, asset managers that are putting some allocations into it. People have been contacting me, hey, we'd like to open up a sports ETF. What do you think? What should we be looking at? And then you've got Pokemon, which is like literally up 3,000% in the past 20 years.
Okay,
So the sports ETF thing, I want to pause on that for just a second. We're also going to show the podcast within the same breath because today I published the new RWA Segments podcast with Miguel Kudry, and he founded L1 Advisors, which is kind of a firm where obviously, if you guys have noticed, crypto's obviously taken a huge uptick, especially within younger people. And so he's building something that helps advisors with tokenization, dealing with that sort of thing and helping people manage on that front as well. But one of the comments, because I kept pressuring him about collectibles being like, man, like what the hell is going on here with all this stuff? And he specifically said, you know, it's probably going to be like a multitude of collectibles that people are interested in like investing in, or something that comes along in his path. It's not going to be a singular collectible. So him talking about a sports ETF in that fashion is right on brand with that.
So, Ken, tell me what you think is happening here, because you've been in this business for a very long time, and the growth, especially in the last, call it 3, 4, 5 years, pandemic and post, has been like a hockey stick. It's just been exponential. What do you ascribe it to?
Well, I mean, what I ascribe it to is that people who, you know, are approaching their 40s and 50s grew up in a generation where maybe they didn't appreciate the more traditional types of collectibles, like the, you know, maybe they weren't into Monet and Renoir and Warhol and Picasso. They were into, you know, Mickey Mantle. They were into Michael Jordan. They were into Kobe Bryant. And though that is what they worshipped. So collectibles, to me, really captures a moment in time. When you own a rare collectible, you're really owning a piece of history. And, you know, that iconic moment, whether it's a T206 Honus Wagner card or whether it's a game-used jersey, is yours forever. And, you know, the appreciation is out there. And people who have the money want to own the best of the best. And, like, the difference between now in 2025, as we approach 26, and, you know, COVID in 2020 and 2021 is, I think, that back then it was indiscriminate buying. Stuff that was not, to me, rare, that should not be very valuable. We're going up 200, 300, 400%, you know, weekly. Now what you're happening, you know, what's happening is there are a lot more people that are seriously involved. There are less people that are looking to get in to make a quick buck. And the best of the best is constantly going up. And the stuff that, you know, is really not that very rare or common is just, you know, slowly, very slowly increasing.
Okay, there you go. And again, entire Netflix series is available. I thought that it wasn't on my Netflix where I am, but I just looked it up and it's there. It's funny, I've never had it like suggest the series, so I don't know if it was newly added for where I am or if Netflix just didn't want to push it, but it seems like they're doing that now, obviously from the Jake Paul fight into having a bunch of articles. So the Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan card here. Let me move the cover for a second just so you can see the entire thing a little bit better. Okay, cool. And then I'll move my face over just a smidge. So $3.1 million for this card. So this is super interesting. Now, why the hell is it interesting? There is a card that Kevin O'Leary, formerly from Shark Tank, that bought the $12 million card, I don't know, a month or two ago, maybe a bit more. So what's the difference between this card that sold for 3.1 million and that one that sold for 12? Well, both of them are exquisite collections. Okay, cool. One of them, this one is actually the earlier one from 2003. Kevin O'Leary's is from the 07-08 season. Again, both PSA 6s, which is funny that they're exactly the same ranking from that for being older. The Exquisite box, when it first came out, it was kind of the first box that was a higher end one. It came in like a wooden case. It cost $500. Traditionally, everything was just done in bulk. So it was a completely different take on card collecting in a way. And it came with 6 cards. So $500 for 6 cards sounds like absolute madness. Now, coincidentally, this was the draft that had LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Bosh. So it had some massive heavy hitters in it. And the aspect of this was one of the first years that the Topps Exquisite, had a thing. So the only difference, besides like the year of the cart and everything, is the fact that on Kevin O'Leary's, there is this signature. And it's presumably, and said that it's the only Logan that has an autograph from both Kobe and Michael Jordan, and that's why it went for the crazy price that it did. So there's a little bit of a history lesson on that, but again, new dual logo ottoman, Kobe Michael J, 3.1 million every single day. Holy suffering, succotash. The headlines are crazy. And here's your feel-good story. I saw this where there was a kid who went off to basic training for the military, and he was like sad that he wasn't going to be able to continue to collect. But I guess his dad went around, started talking with people, made friends with like shop owners and figured it out, and ended up buying like all the Pokemon product releases in that time that they were away. So there's your feel-good story of the day. Love it. Now to a little bit more of a negative one. So Burger Chew. This is the card that caused massive viral headlines around the world because McDonald's did a promo with Pokemon. McDonald's did a promo with Pokemon. And there was cards that were associated with it, and people were going to strictly buy the card or the Happy Meal and then dump food. Again, made major headlines. The demand for that card was insane. Now, the headline of the day is that it's crashing. So here's a little bit of a kind of a history lesson on this, though.
One single, unprecedented, sketchy sale, and now suddenly everybody has their eyes on Burger Chew. But who is everybody? Well, I think there's 3 groups. Group 1, collectors, primarily new wave collectors who think that Burger Chew might reach the same heights as other promos like Pikachu with a grey felt hat. Collectors who, based on the current narrative around Burger Chew, fear that they might miss out if they don't get in early. And Group 2, resellers, who saw the fear and uncertainty around Group 1 as an opportunity, who saw Pikachu as nothing but a means to profit. And between August and October, Group 2 capitalized on Group 1, with some of the first PSA 10 graded copies selling for $250 USD. But it's not like these were one-off sales. 9s and 10s continued to sell with ease, and as the hype accelerated, collectors' FOMO kicked in. And just like clockwork, the resellers, who essentially were just buying free Happy Meal toys from international middlemen in Japan, started opening the booster packs instead for the guaranteed Pikachu, sending the little guy in for grading and not even trying to hide their true intentions, maximizing profit, even if the price of the card was propped up by a false narrative. And yeah, that's just capitalism at play, but the vibes feel off, you know? There's just something strange about a mass-produced card, the resultant food waste to try and get it, no other Pikachu card getting close to price in the early days, and the grading and reselling rush that just leaves a bad taste. I started making this video because I wanted it to serve as a warning to newcomers before the rug pull happened, but the Pokemon card space moves so quickly, or I move so slowly, that I missed the boat, and those September highs are now a thing of the past as Burger Chew has continued to plummet.
So within that, he mentions the fact that it was at $250 at a point. So you look it up right now, and for like the ungraded variant of it, $22. Now you go up to the PSA 10. Okay, it's at 70, but still massive, massive cratering compared to the $250. Obviously, markets come and go, but these are the narratives and the stories. Like that probably has one of like the greatest, even though it's not like a good thing, like it's super crappy that it made headlines for all like the wrong reasons, but that's the Pokemon headline of the day. So I don't want you to get too tilted because we're going to go over something that might tilt the hell out of you. We've seen these major publications have articles and everybody's wanting to get in the collectibles train because it's a hot key search term, of course, and it's the Christmas time. So some want to give advice, some want to make you feel festive, some want to make you feel regret for the things that you've done. AOL jumping on that bandwagon, 9 once hot collectibles that now aren't worth squat. And can you guess the very first thing they mention? New baseball cards. I feel like that was probably the last thing that I would have guessed on that list, but okay, let's see what they have to say. Baseball cards flourished in the 19th century when candy and cigarette companies put them in their packaging to increase sales. This move bred the baseball card business in the 80s. There was a boom in valuable cards, but overproduction by card companies looking to meet demand led to a drop in value. In 2022, the most expensive single baseball card sold on record for $12.6 million. However, that isn't the case for most cards. You'll likely receive $1 to $3 each for them. Definitely not a reliable way to put extra cash in your pocket. So to read the headline again, 9 once hot collectibles that now aren't worth squat. New baseball cards. I mean, if they were once hot, does new baseball cards fall into like the once, right? Because it's saying it as if it was like past tense sort of deal. So that doesn't work. Norman Rockwell, collector plates, Hummel figures, Pogs, Beanie Babies. That's on every list. Barbies. And then number 7. Okay, we got to give him a red card over here, even though we just watched the thing that showed the card crashing. But Pokemon cards. Number 7. Pokemon cards debuted in Japan in 1996 and have maintained some level of popularity with a cult following ever since then. The most expensive to have ever sold cost the buyer a traded Illustrator Pikachu card in addition to $4 million. But that's not the norm for Pokemon, especially since they're so widely produced today. Common and uncommon cards will usually sell for less than $1. Rare cards will fall within $10, and holographic cards could get up to $50. I don't even, like, is this even, like, accurate? I feel we've seen Pokemon products, like, have pretty high resale value. Like, we're talking about ripping up the packs, going through them. Like, obviously, commons are going to be kind of but most of these rares, even for the newer sets, are still, like, hundreds of dollars. So saying that it's 50, I don't know. Yeah, list is whack. Who wrote this? You're right. Who the hell wrote this? I'm going to give him a red card. Meredith Schneider. Yo, we got to talk with Meredith Schneider. Unreal. So I found this auction site, and it's got a bunch of random stuff from like US, Canada, elsewhere. And if you've ever wondered where the hell certain stores get like just weird stuff, well, here's an example. So let me just go through this right quick. The article's from this year, which is bonkers banana pants to me. So they have a Blue Eyes White Dragon card from the Kaiba theme deck of 2003. The current bid, $39. Cards with legendary collection binder, 65. You want a Roberto Luongo jersey, $105. Nintendo Switch game, 27. They got more Yu-Gi-Oh within there and just a bunch of random things. And I'm thinking, like, I've never really looked at auction sites intently or with the I'm gonna buy this. Okay, TJ4 jersey, current bid $2. Yeah, we're gonna buy a Raptors jersey. Oh yeah. And it's just funny though, because then you think, like, if somebody is able to get good prices on these auctions, and then you just list them in a store, and assuming you have a decent amount of foot traffic, man, the flippability is insane. Gary Vee talking about going to garage sales and whatnot. It's making me think of that. Several vintage collectible Marvel comics. Imagine they had one of these that went for like mega bucks at an auction. And even if it's like not amazing condition, you still get a bag. And what was the price for it? Current bid, $120. What if you got one in there that's singularly worth like 500? Unreal. When Legends trim, yo, true. Yo, Jeremy, what's going on? Need Chiller gaming in my life? Yo, oh well, I appreciate that. And here we're looking at flip it instead. Dude, have they announced if Riftbound is going to get a digital client yet? Are they just like throwing that on the Riot Games one? I re-downloaded League of Legends the other day. I played it once, and Xander keeps saying, "You never play," and then I never see Xander play. It's funny. It's very funny. But yeah, so maxsold.com, if you're wanting to randomly go to like an auction site, I think there's a bunch all around the globe. You're able to find it. The first Super Bowl, I don't know what number that is. What the hell number is Licks? Listen, I know it's like 50 something, I think. Yeah, maybe. No, it's higher. Lower, higher. But anyway, for the Super Bowl, the Philadelphia Eagles, when they won it, they get a ring. And Lakin Vakali, who did not play a single down for the team, sold their championship ring for $124,000. Yo, Pekka, Merry Christmas. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hope everything is going swimmingly. No, I highly doubt any first-party digital client. Very interesting. Very interesting. So Collectibles still rocking and rolling. $100,000 for a Super Bowl ring. Not terrible. Not terrible. But what is terrible, and you can go to Christmas dinner now and talk about the craziness, because maybe you haven't seen this, the World Cup final ticket prices. Oh my God, we're talking $29,000, $43,000, $52,000, and we are still months away. We have no idea who's playing. Probably will play a big part on what the prices go for. And the amazing thing with this, it says for on the 49,115 that it's an amazing deal. Amazing deal. Holy, unreal. So does this go down as the most expensive live event in history? I mean, I'm asking that off the top of my head. Like, I genuinely have no idea what is close in terms of the next most expensive event. Is it a Super Bowl? It is a final concert for somebody. I feel a lot of our minds probably jump to like, maybe it's something to do with Taylor Swift, but I don't know. Prize cards from Riftbound's first NA region are going for 50 to high 100,000. Wow. Are they making them that limited? That seems crazy. I mean, the hype around it is really, really good. So for Riftbound, they're having a ton of success, and that's amazing. For a lot of other TCGs, it seems that things are going kind of swell. Yu-Gi-Oh! As an example, they announced the overframe cards. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has had a huge issue. I was watching Rudy from Alpha Investments, and he was talking about how on average, card stores are buying like a singular case of each Yu-Gi-Oh! Release because the product is simply not moving at all. So Konami's finally changing up their product into something different. Now, in my learning, as I'm really trying to consume everything I can regarding trading cards, collectibles, whatever, to have a fun show with you guys, I have to say the number one thing that I see daily without fault is people losing money on sport card case openings. Example, headline, I've spent $14,000 on absolute boxes and have not hit a kaboom. What am I doing? okay, everything's a little bit different. And on the podcast, we talked with CJ Breen from Leaf Cards. And he talked about how kind of every product's different. And we're seeing from a lot of these major retailers or producers that it's turned into sort of like a lottery ticket of, oh, if you end up pulling, you know, the one of one card, super refractors, what the hell ever, right? I feel like it's going to do damage. That's like the notion around it. Because I don't think that I really see that around Pokemon. People are still enjoying it. For any of these other card games, I don't see the complaints. For sports cards, every day, I'm seeing people that are just completely crashing out saying, oh, I've not made any of my money back. And it almost feels like NFTs in a way, where it was like, you see people that are in like different communities that are just like complaining about the prices of everything, and it's like, why would I want to hang around that? Like, we're not having fun in any sort of capacity. So what the hell is going on at that? Those boxes are so damn expensive, not worth it at all. It's like, I don't get it. I mean, obviously this is like a particular set, and everyone's like a little bit different. And we talked about some of the hockey collectibles yesterday from Upper Deck. But I mean, maybe we got to go to Disney Chrome, okay? Somebody pulled the one-of-one Elsa, and they sold it for $20,000. Yo, no. Doesn't seem like anybody's complaining about the Disney product. Sports cards are lame. Even Tagline knows that, which is why he switched to Pokemon. Yo, Tagline's in a Pokemon? Hell friggin' yeah. But speaking of Upper Deck, they are releasing, I think it was on the 17th of the month, these Ingrained icons, which is an entire set of retired pros, legends, inserted with like sticks, game-used memorabilia. How the hell do they just have these things lying around to be able to shove into cards? I have no idea. Yesterday, we talked about how a Real Madrid player, Jude Bellingham, had a one-of-one card with the UEFA trophy shavings into it. Still not over that conversation whatsoever. And then I became... excuse me. I became interested in looking at prices for things. Because again, within my learning, I'm like, okay, what the hell are the prices for these? And I'm going through these articles. I'm going on the Upper Deck site. I'm typing in everything. Like I'm looking up Ingrained. These are the Ingrained icons. And nothing is showing up at all. Oh, okay. So I found it from this retailer. Great. But it seems, and I don't know if this is for everyone, but Upper Deck definitely has some sort of deal with like retailers where they just like don't sell certain products, or at least on release, from their site. For Topps, they sell everything directly from their site, but it feels like Upper Deck, that is just simply not the case, because I could not find it directly from them at all, just links to elsewhere. Those cards will be amazing. We'll include autos too from the VA of Ash Ketchum. Peckham, at least with McDonald's, at least you get food with your Monopoly ticket. Also, as if people think these epic cards are not just randos sent out to the shop in a pack. Well, I mean, so the other, do we even, oh yeah, it's the final thing we're going to end with, because we got to talk about something that was major headlines, and then it's felt like it kind of fizzled off just a little bit. But there's an Azuki TCG Invitational that they're doing. I thought this was super cool. I guess they sent out like these long form boxes with like an invitation card. It's got a couple decks within it, and I don't know. I just thought that was a super cool idea from Azuki. So the big drama is there's a breaker called Filth Bomb Breaks. And they got, in 2 days from the MLB Chrome set, they pulled 6 MLB debut patches. 6 of them. I think it was 3 one day, 3 the next. And people are going through like the mathematical odds of that, and it was just like, this is borderline impossible. So somebody wrote an email to Topps basically saying, what in the shenanigans is going on? What in the shenanigans is going on? And Topps responded, "Thank you for taking the time to share your concerns and for your continued support of the hobby. We understand the passion collectors bring to products like 2025 Topps Chrome Update, and we appreciate the opportunity to address the questions surrounding the debut patch cards. Our pack odds can be located via the download checklist tab on the product overview main page on Topps.com. Debut patch cards were designed to be among the rarest chase elements in the product. These cards are inserted at extremely low odds, with pack odds disclosed on the product packaging in accordance with industry standards. While we do not publicly release exact print runs for individual insert cards, the odds reflect their intended scarcity across the total production run. Regarding recent polls shared online, it's important to note that highly visible breakers often open a significant volume of product within a short time frame. This increased exposure can create the perception of uneven distribution. Even though all sealed cases, whether sold to hobby shops, retailers, or breakers, are randomly packed and distributed from the same production process, we do not load cases or allocate specific hits to particular customers or breakers. We take collector trust seriously and continuously review feedback from the community. Transparency, fairness, and consistency remain priorities for us, and we are committed to maintaining the integrity of our products and distribution methods. Thank you again for reaching out and for being a valued part of the collecting community. Okay, what do we think? Is this going to be a red card? Is it going to be a yellow card? What are we kind of feeling about that? I mean, it feels sort of like a... I'm trying to think, like, imagine if you were the person that's, like, responding to this, and I don't know if they... I don't know how many emails they got from this. Maybe this is a one-off, or if they knew this was going to be, like, publicized. But trying to think of, like, how do we word this where it doesn't come across, like, too negatively? Because, again, you'll see people that are just straight up losing it over the fact that breakers got it. Yeah, you're calling foul. Hey, Beckham, you're calling big-time foul. Holy smokes, the chat is flying. And it's just Peckham, hell yeah. Sorry, I think there's like a delay on there. I need to figure out how to put a chat thing behind that so it's a little bit more visible. I'm trying to mess around with like the back screen. I'm thinking of like kind of redoing the format. I don't, not the format per se, but like the way the window looks, because I just have like this thing generated behind, but we got to come up with a better way if we're going to be rock and rolling with this one. Sounds blatant, painting oneself from the corner. I mean, again, I don't know. Who makes me think of like The Office when they're in like the shipping department in the bottom and they have like the golden ticket, right? Where they get like a huge percentage off and then they get the, their biggest customer ends up pulling 5 in a row because Michael didn't shift around the boxes and just put them all in like 5 in a row. That's the meme that should be associated with that entire situation there. So if you want to go post that and go viral, that's the one right there. But that's going to be it for this edition of XFeed. Guys, thank you so much for coming on through. Yesterday's stream, I don't know what the hell's going on. Maybe it's just the fact that we're doing something a little bit different. I think we're almost at 400 views from that. The shorts are going crazy. We got some that are instantly getting, 2,000 to 5,000 within a couple of hours, and it's really, really cool. I'm also getting chewed out a lot. Somebody called me a goober. And then also the funny thing, the universe is in like a really weird state, at least for me, okay? So yesterday, I got a comment, and this guy's just ripping on me. Why are you doing this for this amount of views? You can do something bad. And I was like, you know what? That's kind of a downer, whatever. And then the same day, one of the best live streams in a little bit. It's like, okay, it's funny. It's funny how the world works. But again, thank you guys for coming on through. Peckham, Jeremy, Harry Swan. Appreciate you guys coming through. It's hella cool to talk with you guys all the time. We're going to keep it going as per usual. Hope you have a phenomenal Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, all that kind of crazy stuff. And I will see you guys soon. Have yourself a good one. Peace, peace.